What is going on, guys? Craig 1287 here, bringing you some Battlefield 4 gameplay. Right now looking at some rush footage on Giants of Karelia for the Last Stand maps. Now, again, I don't know how that's pronounced, Karelia, whatever it is. But, it's like I said in the previous video, we made an attempt to find some rush servers, and rush on Last Stand is awesome. I still have yet to try rush, and I really wish I got that straw shot. I wish that I could have gotten in on some whiteout. That map, that was the only one that we didn't try the rush on. Just the server never got around to it. But because that's right now, and from the beta, that was my favorite map for Conquest and whatnot. So really looking forward to that. But on the other two maps, the rush was awesome. It was some, I've actually got one of the best rush rounds I have ever been involved in, recorded, and that will be coming out at some point. But just after that round, we experienced this round on Giants of Karelia. And I've encountered some pretty rough rush maps. Obviously, BF4 Vanilla has not been known for its fantastic rush design. I personally haven't really seen too many flaws with them. I think they're alright. China Rising saw some pretty difficult rush maps, especially with the one with the Sunken Dragon, that last one. It was not easy assaulting. Now, it's not typical, though, that you see rush maps that are just too difficult for the defenders. And my belief in how rush should be handled and what it seems like they typically are, how they are handled, is that attackers should have the difficulty. They should be the one that is struggling to actually advance. It shouldn't be that the attackers in a equal player count kind of setting, roughly equal experience in terms of the ranks and whatnot. It's not that the defenders should be the ones getting steamrolled easily. And that's what's the case on this map. Now, if you notice that very first MCOM, rewind the video if you need to, that first MCOM that they took out, the way that it's positioned on those rocks, the second the attackers got it armed, you didn't hear it in the comms, but we all just gave up. We really did not make any attempts. It was almost instantly clear that because of the position of those rocks, the fact that the MCOM was sitting on the side that made it open for the attackers, that once I got armed, the attackers just had full range of shooting anybody with explosives, with bipod LMGs, with sniper rifles, with anything. They could just unload on them as they tried to disarm it. And then for this MCOM, it was somewhat similar of a case, but not as bad. But at this point, that's where we noticed, when B was armed, that was when we noticed, wow, they had an APC and an Amtrak, which typically that's not a bad deal. There were plenty of rush servers in which the attackers have vehicles, Amtrak being one of them. I mean, that's totally legit. But you have, as defenders, other vehicles to deal with that, or at least some mounted, tow missiles. But that is not the case here. And so we were just like, all right, whatever. They've clearly got it. They've got two vehicles. We have none. Either our whole team switches to engineer and we take out their vehicles, but we can't revive or resupply ourselves, or we just let the vehicle steamroll us as we are able to revive and supply ourselves. And so, as you saw, they took us out. And then that little patch up there, I noticed, wow, that's a really cool tactical spot. I can actually, shoot this APC in the butt that snuck past. But then I realized, wow, the attackers are about to have this cliffside in their favor, and it did. As you see there, they armed that MCOM, and I don't know if you saw it on the mini-map, or if you see it here in my spawn screen, but there's just a lot of skull and crossbones on A, which, you know, that's kind of going to be typical. Enemy knows that we're going to go try to disarm, but the advantage that they have, just everybody that gets near there, they're just taken out. A few guys are still there, alive, but it was just a lot of the MCOMs with this map. The second the attackers get it armed, the way that the cover is positioned, the way that the MCOM is placed on what side, the attackers just have such a huge advantage. And here you'll see, I slow it down. If you look at my mini map, you'll see on the right side of that train track that the enemy does have a spawn beacon there, and that is up on that hill. It's almost impossible with this hill to take out the spawn beacon that the attackers have placed there. And as you saw slightly before that, and you'll see a couple of the times here in this video, right now, granted, you can get some funny kills like that, but these guys have just free reign of parachuting down. Now, this is actually from a closer spawn beacon now, but they can just, that initial beacon that they can place on that cliff is just detrimental to us. It's so hard for us to counter that. There are rumors, I guess, that DICE will be patching into the full game something that makes it so where the spawn beacon no longer lets players parachute in. I think that would be the greatest change in this game, other than making every rooftop a no man's zone. That ability to just always have people parachuting to impossible to reach other than through parachute methods. It can be game breaking. But again, you know, the APC was pushing up on us. I don't know if these guys didn't have it at this point, if it doesn't spawn as available. We never had the chance to be attackers on this map, so I can't say for sure. But they didn't use the Amtrak at this point. I don't know if it got blown up and they just don't have it available, or if these guys just didn't use it at this point. But had they faced us with the Amtrak and APC combo like they did before, they would have steamrolled over us. Had even more, you know, spawns on that Amtrak, and even more explosive power from a vehicle that replenishes its explosive ammo just like the APC does, and it would have just been rough. But we finally do get their ticket count. You'll see here they get down to 1 ticket, and they just bum rush the MCOM with the APC. It had, you know, its active protection on. I couldn't really kill it, but how we actually defended this, I do not know. I really don't. How we won, it didn't seem like we did, though. It was one of those kind of rounds. We were glad we won, but it didn't seem like we had won because it was just so rough. So I didn't even get a chance to see the rest of these MCOMs. They might be incredibly easy for defenders, but I think what killed them and what did that team in was most of them switched to snipers and just were sniping from that cliff. That, you know, again gave them a really nice tactical advantage, but once they got that MCOM close to that cliff within parachuting distance, they just, you know, their momentum really dragged. So I think that's what happened, was they just had too many snipers on their team that were sitting and shooting, going for kills, rather than going for PTFOing on the objective. So, yeah, guys, I hope you did enjoy the gameplay, though. I mean, it was a very tense round. We were sweating bullets this entire time because of just how brutal all they had to do was get an MCOM armed once, and it was just game over. We just almost no way for us to defend. So I do hope that something like this gets changed. This is easily top 3 most difficult rush maps for now. Typically a different reason. Typically it's the attackers that are facing too much of a challenge to push onto the MCOMs. But in this case, the tides have turned, and it's just a rough match, rough map layout for the defenders. So is this something you guys have noticed? If you've done rush on this map, is this something that I'm just making up and I'm, you know, losing my mind? Or is this something that probably should get fixed? So yeah, let me know what you guys think. And like I said, hope you guys did enjoy the gameplay. Have a good one. Ta-ta.